down, down, down to the surface. It won't be anything sudden, just like a leaf drifting gently out of a tree, back down to the surface. And as you come back down, I want you to tell me the very first thing that you see down there below you, or the very first impression that you have as you come back down to the surface. What do you see down below you?
I'm actually floating out in space, and this direction that I'm looking, I'm up above a couple of different galaxies that are slightly intertwined.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful. And do you feel yourself moving? Or are you just floating suspended?
I'm suspended.
Ah, very good. Now as you're there in that, coming from behind you, there's a beautiful light. And if you just look at your shoulders, as a matter of fact, I want you to, can you see your shoulders?
Sure.
And if you were to hold your arms out in front of you, can you see your arms?
Yes.
And what do they look like?
I thought they were going to be my arms, but they are, I've seen a vision of this before, but the skin is a darker grayish purple, and I only have 3 fingers on each hand.
Ah, very interesting. And I want you to touch your body and put your hands up against your body and just like where your stomach or in that area. And what do you feel like there? And I want you to just go ahead and look down and describe what you're feeling and what you see.
It's a thin body. My head's probably just slightly larger than normal human size, but it's nothing crazy.
Okay, so on your head, is there any hair or anything?
No.
Very good. And go ahead and continue to describe your head then.
Pointed chin. Smaller mouth.
Very good. And what about your eyes? How do your eyes feel?
They're, I guess, like oval, like human eyes, but they're larger.
Oh, very good. And I want you to look down at where your feet would be, or what do they look like?
It's almost, so it's not a hoof, but in a way that a hoof comes down to almost one toe, so to speak. It would be like that. Like there's not phalanges, there aren't any toes sticking off the bottom of my feet.
Understood. And could you lift your foot up and just look at the bottom lift that area up and look at the bottom of it? What does that look like? Just curious.
A couple of large pads.
Oh, very good. Very, very good. And do you have on any garments or anything?
I keep jumping between looking at myself and then being myself. So when I'm not aware of it, just putting my hands around my body, but the first thought that popped into my mind was almost a black sash going from one of my shoulders down to like where it would be around your waist or hip area.
Very good. Totally understood. And can you still see the stars out ahead of you?
Yes.
Now, I want you to look below you. Are you still floating?
Yes.
Ah, very good. Now, I want you to... Now, can you see that light coming from behind you?
I can create a light.
Can you, so as you're looking at your shoulders, I'm saying there's a light coming from behind you. Can you see that light at all?
I almost feel like there's a ship close by.
There's a presence behind you?
Ship.
Okay, very good. So I want you to slowly turn around and tell me, what do you see behind you then? And don't be surprised.
It's, I don't know what it's made out of, but it looks more white on the outside. And
So is it an object?
it's a spaceship. It's a ship.
Ah, very interesting. And you're floating in front of it, correct?
Outside of it, yeah.
Ah, very good. And do you see that you're connected to that ship in any way?
No, I'm just
No tethers, nothing?
floating around.
Ah, very good. And how large does the ship look as you're looking at it?
I'd say it's not humongous. I mean, it's big enough, but maybe the size of a very small house, or
Understood. Now, do you see any entrances or any windows or portals or anything that you could possibly see inside?
there might be some windows for people to look outside, but I think they're covered up from the inside.
Totally understood. And so I want you to see, can you see an entrance, a door on that ship? On how to get in, because I want you to enter the ship.
I can just be in the ship.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and I want you to approach the ship and just reach your hand out as you're getting to the ship, and I think you'll go right through the wall. And have you made it inside the ship?
Mm-hmm.
And how did it feel to go through that wall?
Didn't feel like anything.
And nothing opened up, you just went directly through?
Just in the ship?
Yes. Very good. And so are you still floating or are you standing?
I am standing.
Very good. And if you look at what you're standing on and describe it, please.
It's just white flooring, almost trying to figure out if if the material of the flooring and all the walls, if it's the same white material as the exterior of the ship.
Understood.
Or if I'm just walking around just either in energy or in a space or what have you, where there's no form inside the ship. I think it was probably the latter.
Okay. But I want you to stop trying to figure everything out. I mean, it still has you there, so and it's good that you're thinking, but I don't want you to think too much or you're fine. Okay? So, first of all, as you're there, and obviously you have moved around in the ship, yes?
I'm standing in the ship.
Oh, okay. Now, how big does the ship look inside compared to outside?
I would say it's probably bigger inside than it was outside.
Okay, very good. And as you look around, do you see any places where there would be possible portals or windows?
Not where I am.
Oh, very good. And so describe the immediate area that you're in.
I'm just inside the ship.
Okay. And is there anyone else inside the ship with you?
I don't think so, no.
Not that you can see, correct?
I don't see anybody else in here.
Okay. And are there any doors or entrances that take you into other parts of the ship besides the area that you're in?
No, I just had the thought I formed the ship.
Ah, very good. So do you see a place where you can have a seat in that ship?
I guess I could sit down if I wanted to.
Okay, so you're basically in a ship, and so now you're not floating in space anymore. So you've created the ship, as you say, and So I want you to create a place for you to be able to sit in the ship. That'll make it easier. And is there a place for you to sit?
Guess I made some sort of chair up here.
Ah, very good. And what does, just describe the chair or that where?
A surface for me to sit on.
Okay, very good.
It's the same color as everything else.
Ah, very good. So go ahead and have a seat on the chair. And tell me when you're sitting.
Okay, sitting.
Comfortably?
Yeah.
Very nicely. Now I just want you to look at the white wall ahead of you, and the wall is going to open up and it's going to allow you to see outside of that ship. And I really have a desire for that to happen. Let's see if you can sit in a chair and tell me if it opens up for you.
I can see the galaxies outside.
Oh, very good. Well, that ship that you've manifested for yourself is going to take you to where you live. And it's starting to move. Can you see the stars moving around you?
I can feel it's moving.
Ah, very good. And you're going to get there really quickly. You're going to get to where you live. And you're going to be there in a count of 5, 4, 3, almost there, 2, just about there, and 1. And you're just arriving. Can you tell me where you are now and what you're seeing?
It's a planet. I'm above the planet.
Ah, beautiful.
It's dark, so either I'm on the dark side, like the nighttime side, or it's in a constant eclipse from something else, or there's not a sun close.
Ah, very good. So you're above a planet, and I want you to imagine that the windows open up all the way around on the ship, all the way around, and you can see 360 degrees. And as you're looking at the planet that you're above, which is your home, I want you to just look around and see what other objects. Are there any moons? Can you see where the closest star or light source is? Any of the above. And just tell me what you see as you look around all the way.
I wonder if it's actually, even though it's the size of a regular planet, there's almost like this huge, ginormous, crazy big other planet. So even though that's where I'm from, is the size of a normal planet, it's almost like a moon to something much bigger.
Ah, very good. Now, what does that one that's much bigger look like?
It looks like it must be a gas giant planet.
And does it have any colors, or how would you describe a gas giant from what you're seeing?
It has stripes. There's some red in there.
Wow, beautiful. Well, we're going to focus on the planet that you're from, and we'll get to that other planet later, or the moon that you're possibly on. And I want you to go how you would normally go in that ship onto the planet that you say is your home. And the ship begins to move, and tell me where it's taking you.
I can just step out onto the surface of the planet.
Oh, very good. And so you've already landed on...
Yeah, it's really rocky.
Okay.
Like almost well, it's really rocky. But then the color of the rocks is like a black, like black tourmaline or something like that. It's just
totally
dark. Dark rock.
And when you were way up could you see any light sources on the surface at all?
No, I was just looking at the planet.
Okay, and now that you're down on the planet, and So at first, I just want you to...
I do see
very
something in the
good.
distance.
What do you see in the distance?
So I'm not right up next to it, but it's
Understood.
almost on the horizon. There's a... Let me focus.
Well, actually,
There-
let's move forward from a safe distance, and you're going to feel yourself moving forward so you can get a really good picture and a good description of what it is. And you were there. What are you looking at there?
It's almost like it's a structure that's been there crazy amount of long time.
Okay.
And it's, I would almost call it monolithic size. And it's almost these pyramid shaped, almost pyramids, tall. They're not short pyramids. They're very tall, skinny pyramids. And they almost lean in and curve in around a central point. And they are, the front of them, of the stone or material,
Yes.
is lit up from whatever's in the center of that area.
Ah, beautiful. So it's pretty beautiful to look at, huh?
It's actually pretty cool.
Oh, wow. And does it look like there's an entrance into this place?
Now I realize it's the pyramid things. It's a complete circle, and they bend in towards the middle. And you can just walk on the ground because they're not connected. You know, they're spaced out evenly from each other. So you can just walk in through between the columns of pyramids
Ah, very
towards
good.
the center. And
Are you going? Go ahead and let's do so.
you know, the pyramids are made out of a different material than the rest of the planet. The rest of the planet, the rock had a sheen to it, very shiny.
Yes.
And what the pyramids are, what you would consider a stone. They are not shiny; they are opaque, and so it was put there.
Understood.
With purpose. So if you were to walk towards the center, because there's a light in the center, and I want to figure out what that is.
Well, let's go ahead and go toward the center. You are protected. You're just there to observe and...
It's a model. It's a model of... It's a projection model of...
Like a holograph?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's where the light's coming from, and it's huge, because this is a huge area that I've walked into, but it's up several stories off the ground, and you can look up at it, and it's taking up this area in between all the columns, and that's what the light is being shown onto the columns.
Amazing.
And it's there's nobody else here, but the hologram's turned on, and you can look at it, but I don't see anybody else here. It's just me, I think.
And what is a holographic projection of?
I got the thought we're looking at Earth.
Oh, that's what you see in that holograph.
It must be, then it must be the Milky Way. The holograph of the Milky Way, if we're looking at Earth.
Very good. Very, very good. Now, can you turn around and still see your ship there? In the distance?
No, my ship we parked that pretty far away.
Okay.
And what's interesting is the holograph or whatever, hologram, projection, we'll call it the projection.
Mm-hmm.
The projection is in reds, oranges, and yellows.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
Reds, oranges, yellows. Now, I think you need a guide to come through at this moment to give you a little information. And there's a person that's on that moon there, and I've heard of this moon before, and it's actually come up before, so I know that they're there. I just need you to look around at the pyramids made of stone. Can you see them?
Oh, sure, they're freaking huge, man.
Oh, okay. Now the one on your right. Can you see the one to your very right?
There's several. They're all around me, but yeah, I can look over to my right and see one.
Okay. Now, one of them, if you look, there's a carving of a door, and it's in light, and it's just manifesting right there. And it's the shape of a door, but it looks like someone etched it out in light, and it's going to open, and someone's going to come out, and they're going to be the ones who can explain what you're looking at. And you just watch that door. Can you see the door yet?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, very good. And has the door opened yet?
Yeah.
And what color is the light coming out of that door?
It's white.
Oh, it's a beautiful white light. Is it bright?
Yeah.
It's very bright. Doesn't hurt your eyes though, does it?
No.
Very good. Now, one of your guides, they're going to come out and they're going to explain this. So just tell me who comes out.
I don't know how, because the door is my size. Okay.
Okay.
So, and I'm, I can't be taller than 10 feet or something like that. I mean, I'm normal size.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow, I don't know if this has to do with what we talked about earlier, but there is a giant that somehow fit themselves, I don't know if it's a boy or girl,
okay,
out of that door, and they're just hanging out. So I get a sense of their tallness, but I do not get a sense of their features. I just get a sense that they're way taller than I am.
Oh my. And can you greet this presence then?
Oh, sure.
Absolutely. Then go ahead and do so. And ask them, how shall you address them? Or what is their name?
I got the thought he with a capital H.
Ah, very good. And can you ask he, could he please shrink himself down so he may speak to you face to face and you'd be a little bit more comfortable?
Said there's just too much energy.
Ah, very good. And so I'm going to ask you to do something that might sound a little strange. I want you to just float up in the air, weightless, and just float up closer to where their face, or where you could speak into, sort of like face to face. And tell me when you're up there.
Okay, I'm up.
Ah, very good. And how does that feel to be weightless?
Oh, fine.
Ah, very good. And just while you're there, I want you to look back down at the pyramid and the galaxy and everything. How does that look from this angle?
Oh, it's so big. We're still both inside and between all the pyramid columns.
Oh, excellent. Now, this being, you've greeted them?
Yeah.
And can you ask them, what is this place called? Or where are you?
Just says the center.
Ah, the center. And ask them, is the why is at the center? What does the hologram of the Milky Way? What's the significance of that?
Said this is where they plan to be incarnated on Earth.
Ah, so is this 5D Earth and above?
The planet I'm standing on or floating above currently is not Earth at all.
Understood. And what about the hologram, though, where you say you were looking at the Earth?
There are many sections of the Earth that are existing in various dimensions simultaneously.
Understood. And so when they say that this is where people will reincarnate or incarnate, he said incarnate.
This is the planning before incarnation.
The planet or planning?
Planning.
Oh, okay. So, and which incarnation would this place be? futuristic to where you are now?
Time is relative.
And that's understood. But right now, you're focused in the third dimension in a linear time frame. And so when they say they're planning means that at one point the plans will be complete and then something should be able to happen. So putting it in that perspective, what does he mean by this is the planning space for, for the incarnation of the people from planet Earth?
There was a large group of people that were on that planet, the one that I'm above right now.
Okay.
And they all decided to become incarnated on Earth. And that's why nobody's here. It's because they all left this place to go be incarnated on Earth. That's why they were all looking at Earth.
Very good. And are you one of those who?
Yes.
And is Hank one as well?
Yes.
And is Nate one as well?
No.
Nate is not. Very good. So is this you say there's any red pyramids on that planet? Do you see any red ones?
I only see what's below me right now, around me.
Very good. And so you are and I are from that planet. And how old is that planet there?
Been around a long time.
And we all decided to go to the Earth to do...
We're helping right now.
Are we helping Earth in its vibrational shift? Or?
Yes.
Very good. And so that means you are from this place, correct?
Mindy is from this place.
Mindy is from this place. And so I say, does Mindy and Hank know each other?
On many levels.
Very, very good. And while you are here together and we're looking at this amazing space, could you ask him, could he please answer some of your answer? Well, I'm sure they'll answer. Answer your questions. Let's just ask politely first. I'm sorry.
You said sure.
Okay. First, you had some physical questions, and I know that you're connected to this place, and why are you not getting deep, restful sleep?
Hold on, I have to listen to the answer.
Very good.
Okay, so it's a balancing act. They have to take a piece of me. I'm working and I increase vibration and get information, but then I have to come back to the body in order to ground that into the earth. So it's a constant go up, collect the information, come down, and ground it. And I just do that over and over, almost like a
Nightly.
Like a messenger, like a bridge.
Very good. And that's what everyone that came from that planet below you is doing?
They do it in different ways.
Very good. All right. And so why do you have food intolerances?
Because some foods do block the connection.
And so do they want you to pay attention to when you eat particular type of food and you have particular reactions from it, that more than likely that food is not what's best for you?
She already knows what foods aren't good for her.
So is it possible to remove any of those food intolerances? Or is it just in stone? That food's not good for you.
We can work on the adjustments.
Oh, very good. And is there anything that